Hi, my name is Savix, and today we'll finally be covering the Retribution Paladin talent guide. This is my background. Yes, we've been kind of farming. However, I've been playing variety lately. Haven't really been doing a lot of arenas, so I might be falling off soon. Anyways, I was delaying this video far and far and far because I kept changing talents around, studying what's the best, and today I'll be going over that. Let's start with stats. Sorry if this video is not crazy edited. I'm just uploading it for the boys that want to learn and watch. It's not going to have any memes like my other videos. Okay. Retribution Paladin. I go for full mastery. So number one is versatility. Obviously for the damage reduction. And you get a bit of a damage boost as well. So versatility. You can't go wrong with it in PvP. And next is mastery. It increases your holy power damage. For gear, I try to go for mastery on every single piece of gear. And if there's other choices you can make, which will be crit or haste, go for haste. Because haste also benefits the paladins pretty damn well. Especially with Art of War, your auto attack has a 12% chance to reset your Blade of Justice. As well as Ashes to Ashes. When you benefit from Art of War, you gain Seraphim for 4 seconds. So auto, haste, good. So versatility, mastery, then haste. I did a little bit of different build on my main and my alt-red paladin to do more research. I've played with the speed enchant for wrist and cloak. However, I think leech is a lot better because as a red, you will definitely feel like you die really fast. People that don't play it won't understand, but literally Shield of Vengeance, next global you have to bubble. It happens to me all the time. I see Hunt coming, I pop Shield of Vengeance, blows up one shot, I'm already there to bubble. And it sucks. So Leech is very little, but it adds up. And I'll cover it with the talents later. There's like these tiny healing builds we can go that help a little bit in our survivability. So I hope that covers the stat. Next I'm going to go over gearing. If you already haven't gotten your helmet from your vault, I got my helmet. Unfortunately, I really enjoyed using Infurious Helm. Does a lot of damage. It adds up. It's very small, but adds up again and does a lot. So if you don't have your Crimson Gladiator helmet, make sure you get Infurious Helmet. As well as the boots. Super big. It turns into 424 eye level in arenas or battlegrounds. For the enchants, I go for versatility on rings, boots, Planesrunner Breeze, Fierce Armor Kit on legs. This only works in outdoor, so I don't really need to cover it. It's the Engineering Boots. A lot of people question how I run so fast. In outdoor PP or battleground, you could use this for a little fun tinker. For weapon, Sophic Devotion is the best. It's a little bit pricey. Wrist, 200 Leech. Chest, Waking Stats. Cloak, Regenerative Leech. And for neck, I experimented a little bit. I went full mastery on this character and versatility. I just love mastery. But you should play safe and go versatility and then mastery. Also, make sure you craft your primary stat and then versatility. I've been too lazy and I haven't done it. I have it on my other character, but not on this one. One more thing I want to mention for gearing. The reason why I have shoulder and wrist for these two items, you also want to go for belt. I was a little lazy, so I haven't done my quest, but you should be able to get a quest around here called Spark of Life. If you kill 100 people, they give you these little trophies where you could upgrade your blood token gear. And these pieces have mastery and versatility. It also goes up to 421, which is better than your normal PvP gear from Honor, which is 411. So these are not bad as well. And it gives you the stats you want. Whereas in the normal PvP risk is haste versatility, but you can go for more mastery. And more mastery equals more damage. And why are reds brought to the group? We're brought for the one-shot damage. We don't really bring a lot to the table. We're squishy as fuck. Stresses out the healers a lot. Doesn't have a MS. Not a lot of crazy CC. We just had that one big burst and a little bit of utility. So you want to bring that big dick one shot to the table so we have something to offer. Else, why would they play with us, right? Rather play with the Demon Inner. They do so much more damage. And I think that covers gearing and enchanting. So if you can get the trophy gear, get the shoulder, wrist, and belt. Whatever upgrade you could get. So keep doing these trophy quests. I would try to aim for the versatility mastery first and then versatility haste next. And if you really don't have anything to upgrade and you don't have a lot of crimson gear, you could just fill the rest with whatever there is. But always go for mastery, haste, and then crit last. Crit's not bad as well. Alright, for talents, I usually just show you guys the page and move on, but today I think I'm just gonna go in order, press everything, and explain why we're pressing them. First one, obviously, Blessing of Freedom. Second one, Lay of Hand. Blinding Light for the CC, of course. You could actually take Repentance too if you have too many DRs, depending on the comp you play. But Blinding Light is just so convenient. Just press of a button, you get double blind or single blind on the healer. Divine Seed is good. You want 2 seed. Divine Seed is actually not good. I hate it. Fist of Justice for the fast hammer cooldown. God, I hate those dinosaurs. They're so freaking noisy. Shut the fuck up! Usually I love dinosaur sounds, but that one is annoying. It's just screeching. Anyway, second one is Greater Judgment for more damage. Rebuke, obviously, for big kicks, of course. And you take Avenging Wrath, Blessing of Sank, Blessing of Protection. You want Recompose because this damage is actually a lot. If you do your first go and on the second go, if you can charge it up. How do I explain this? So every minute we do a go. Avenging Wrath is 2 minutes and then the rest is 1 minute, right? Divine Toll, Final Reckoning, and Seraphim. It lines up as a 1 minute cooldown. So you could do your first go. And when you do your second go, if you can have Blessing of Sank running, and then you do your second go, you will bang with your hammer. It doesn't always line up like that. You might have to use sack earlier, or you're just getting railed and you never get to use sack. But try to use that with the second 1 minute window you do. Or maybe you have another 2 minute come up because you lasted that long, then congratulations, you can bang again. Holy Aegis for the 4% crit. And this is where it becomes a little tricky and dependent on what comp you fight. I think it's safe to go Aura, so you could have that little 3% damage reduction. I really, really wish Blizzard would change Auras to something better. Whenever I compare it with Warriors, it sucks. As well as our Auras, I don't want to close out of this, but our Auras are on GCD. With all our abilities. Whereas in Warriors, their stances have a separate GCD. And their stances do so much more than our auras. I hate these auras. I wish they changed them. Okay, next on we go. This one depends if you're playing solo shuffle or rated queues. In rated queues, this can come in handy because it makes your bop cooldown shorter, obviously. But in solo shuffle, the games don't go too long and you don't really get to use a second bop. So I personally don't take this on solo shuffles. What I do take is Judgment of Light. What the heck? Sorry, there's like a Bankai enjoyer yelling Bankai. Okay, next on. I take Cleansing Light as well. When you remove diseases, poisons, it's useful. It's really good against Shadow Priest if you could get their Devouring Plague. Huge. DKs, huge. On Rogues, I wish Poison worked a little bit differently because it is an 8-second cooldown. And I use Cleanse to get out of a crippling poison. And they just poke me again and I just have it instantly. So sometimes it feels like a waste of global, but it is nice to take off the 5 wound stack. So I take it anyways. Even though I think when we cleanse, we shouldn't be able to get poisoned for like 2 more seconds. Because it just feels right. I press cleanse to get out of crippling. And I can move a little bit. But in arena, if I cleanse and they're just on me, I'm just slowed instantly again. So it feels kind of stupid. But you want it. You could also combo it with cleanse and lay of hand. Now the next one's pretty tricky as well. If you want to go for the safe bet, you can just take Seasoned Horse or Seal of Templar. Depending on what you like. 1 more second on the horsey. Or 3 yard on a few abilities. God, this talent sucks. Or you can get Golden Path for that tiny Puso healing. And I'll show you a little combination you can do here later. But for now, I'm going to go with Seasoned Warhorse. And next we take Divine Purpose, Seal of Might for more mastery, and Seraphim for that big one-shot setup. And next you take these for Seal and Order and Dusk of Dawn. It's a little damage booster, little damage negator, which comes in handy. And the last few talents on the Haste, and finally, After Image. A little Word of Glory. I do want to mention, depending on what you fight, you can take off Cleanse Toxin, put it in Turn Evil, take Turn Evil out, put it in Consecration if there's no Warlock or Poisons. You can just stand in that Consecration, heal a little bit. So this just depends on what you want to do. If I can show you another build, this is not a bad option too. This feels really good if you enchant your Cloak and Wrist with Speed. But for solo queue, this is what I'd probably play. So I'll leave it at that for now. This side, it just feels like super tiny heal, but we take whatever we can get because our survivability is literal dog. I really hate Red Paladin survivability. Okay, going on to the right side. Blood of Justice, Art of War for obvious reason, resetting your cooldown. Divine Storm, it would be nice if you could have the choice of choosing to do AoE or not, but we get Divine Storm proc, so it works out. Improved Crusader Strike for one more Crusader. Holy Blade for one more Holy Power. Blade of Wrath, Imperium Power, and you get a free Divine Storm and deal 25% additional damage. This one is a little tricky. Shield of Vengeance, pretty good. 89,000 damage absorb and it explodes back. However, in the arena, if the dampening is higher, your shield is a little bit more reduced. And a lot of the times I pop Shield of Vengeance, they go through it right away and I end up bubbling. And it feels like it doesn't help out that healer a lot. But this is definitely dependent on what you like. I personally use Shield of Vengeance for a while. I wish Divine Protection was a 1 minute cooldown, so we could all use this instead. However, it's on the same cooldown. It's a lot more absorb. It can definitely save you at times. However, if you're in the case where a shield just pops immediately and does nothing, I think Divine Protection does a little bit more. So at first, I was using Shield of Vengeance because obviously 90,000 is a lot of absorb. But as we get a lot more gear, people do a lot more damage. And I think flat out 20% feels a little bit better for me. So I've been using this of late. But if you feel comfortable with Shield of Vengeance, go right ahead. I'll still experiment with these. Next is Wake of Ash, obviously. One of my favorite abilities. Slam your sword, Wake of Ash, 3 holy power. Very nice. Radiant Decree or just normal Ashes to Ashes. So Ashes to Dust. Auto-War has a 35% chance to reset the cooldown of Wake of Ash. Super, super useful. Especially with Execution Sentence combo. However, Radiant Decree does a lot more damage. Actually, they both bang really hard. But Radiant Decree is on a 15-second cooldown. It consumes 3 holy power, but you could use it more often. If you're fighting a Demo Lock, I recommend using this. You could Wake of Ash stun everyone. Or I should call it Radiant Decree. If you fight classes where you get kite a lot, like Warlocks can kite you too. But Radiant Decree is too useful against Demo. But if you fight mages and hunters, I like using this better because it feels harder for me to gain holy power. So it depends on what you fight against. Try them both out. Radiant Decree bangs. I've been talking about it since the beta. If you do a fatty setup, you can do some big damage. Avenging Wrath for now. I do want to comment on Crusade, but that is another build you could do. You could go with Zealot's Paragon and Vanguard's Momentum. You can have your wing rolling for a very long time and slap some people. This is a constant damage build, which I have up here and I'll talk about later. But we'll go with Avenging Might for now. And next is Healing Hand, especially with dampening, kicking in right away. Healing Hand feels like it does no heal at all. I rarely press Word of Glory because of that. Anyways, next you take these for bigger judgment damage. We love judgment damage. More judgment damage. Especially if you fight double melee, you want this. It is a little bit of RNG and lottery, but if you get this proc, it's gonna bang. It's gonna bounce around and bang hard. And now here's the tricky part. Remember when I talked about the golden path, the tiny Puso healing? Well, you can go either ways here in this section. All of them suck dick. But if you go this way, your Blade of Justice, aka Art of War, has a chance to put Consecration on the target. So when you spike them, leaves a Consecration. It's a chance. So you could take this with a combination of Consecrated Ground, where your Consecration is larger and enemies move a little bit slower. So you can have it in this combo, so you could get Consecration procs. You could slow people with Consecration. Barely slows everyone. People just walk out of it. I hate it. But we don't have much choice here. This choice sucks. And then you can benefit from Golden Path a little bit too, to make yourself a little bit better. Anyways, I'll show you this build for now, and then we'll move on. Next, we take Zeo for faster auto attack, more Art of War proc, so it equals out. So Zeo is good here. And then we take JV. I get a lot of question about JV. If you take JV, do you never use TV? Yes and no. If you're just normally damaging, use JV only. You never want to use TV. But for whatever reason, Blizzard decided to make Justicar Vengeance do no damage to Siphons. I don't know if it's fixed, but it does 0 damage. So I use Templar's Verdict to hit totems and Siphons because for some reason JV doesn't do any damage. It might be a bug, or I don't know if it's intended. Hopefully Blizzard looks into it. But this is what I take. And then if you fight double melees, you take Eye for an Eye. And then you use TV. Make sense? Hope you guys understood. Next, we take Hand of Hindrance because we need the slows. This slow helps a lot. I pretty much use it to slow a healer and blind them, so I get the blind 100%. Careful when you use it on druids. Druids at higher rating, they just trinket, or priests, they death it. So just stand in front of them, act like you're doing it, and then do it after. It depends on what druids you fight. Some of them don't do it, some of them do it. I sometimes get baited into the little trank. Now I just go in front of them, don't do it for a second, and then do it after. If you could bait out the trank, it's huge. And the slowing helps. Next, you take Relentless Inquisitor, as well as Execution Sentence for the fattest damage setup. Divine Toll, Divine Renaissance, Ashes to Ashes, Virtuous Command for the final Reckoning. Big damage. I'll probably go over the damage in a little bit. I'm feeling very fried. It's getting late. I streamed for 12 hours today. Sorry, this is probably one of the most unprofessional guys I've done. So this is the build we have. There are 2 other builds that I run, but this is probably one of the best ones. So like I said, change these depending on what you fight. If you get kited and you feel like you struggle getting Radiant Decree, you can run Ashes to Dust. It's not bad. Having this is big damage though, and I do recommend it when you fight Demon Locks. And if you don't like the Consecration, which I'm not a big fan of as well, you can just take a Seal of Wrath. It does little damage, and you can put it here, take this out as well, and you can put it in Inner Grace where you get Holy Power. I don't know why this got nerfed to 12 second. It used to be 10. I think it was fine. It didn't do any damage. It wasn't lethal. But this is what you could do if you don't want to use a Consecration build. I've tested both of these on the beta. It doesn't feel like a lot. I think Seal of Wrath is better than X-Purge. So I hope you get the general idea of the talent tree. Also, if you want to do a little bit more damage, you don't have to put it in here. You could put it on the Crusader Strike damage. But you don't use a lot of Crusader Strike as well. So this is where it gets very controversy. Alright, and this next one, I'm going to show you the big wink build. Wing that lasts forever. Which comes in pretty handy too. And there's a little way to debate people, which I'll explain to you about. Okay, so this is what we have for the long wing build. Obviously, Zilla's Paragon, so that it extends the wink whenever you throw Judgment or Hammer of Wrath. and you take Vanguard's momentum, so you have 1 extra charge of hammer. So you keep throwing your hammers, and you extend the wing, and you have Aura of Reckoning, so it adds on to your wing, and it feels like you have a wing forever. And what I meant by you could bait people is pop your wing, people are going to freak out, pop their defensives, right? And now that you have a long wing, you can wait out their 8-second duration or 10-second duration defensive. And after that runs out, you pop Seraphim, Divine Toll, send it home. Big damage. So that's another way you could play out people. If you want to try the long wing build, it's pretty fun. And you get Final Verdict, which feels amazing. I love Final Verdict. I wish this was our baseline Final Verdict or Templar Verdict. But unfortunately, it's not. So that's one build. And I want to tell you guys one more build I think that is honorable to mention, which is this right here. You could run it with normal wing. You could go Dusk of Dawn. You don't have to do this Zillow's Paragon. But what this basically does is you have Final Reckoning, you have Divine Toll, and you have Final Verdict. It feels nice. Super nice. When I want to kill HPAL, I actually run this build because I just want to make them bubble. I'm not going to have that hammer execution falling down, racking it up, and trying to get bubble. I just want to blast right away and get bubble. So I run this for fast kill, especially HPALs. This feels super nice. But like I said earlier, the number one build has to go to this. This combination is just super deadly. If you set it up correctly and the enemies are not aware of execution sentence falling down, they will just take a big beating. Alright, I'm going to go over the honor talents and I'll show you guys a little rotation and I'm going to call it and go to bed. I need to knock out very soon. Lawbringer does a lot of damage. I think it's worth keeping. Aura of Reckoning, I also think it's very worth keeping. Vengeance Aura, now this is the one where you switch out a lot. If you're fighting against classes that CC you a lot, Vengeance Aura, definitely worth it. But if you're fighting classes like Shadow Priest that has Stun, Silence, and Fear, you want to take this for your healer. So you can kind of save them on the CC goes. It will save you as well. If you could use it, I would probably use it in a time where you're cross CC'd. Actually, I'm fried as fuck. I'm not even going to say it. Should I say it? Okay, I was going to say, watch your healers trinket. Try to let them, especially in solo queue, try to let them trinket first. And if they're in a CC and you know you're about to die, pressure trinket and then sank them out of that CC so you could live and get healed. Did that make sense? I hope it did. Try to not use it when he trinkets and you sank him. It's not good. You want to use it at the most troublesome time. So that's for one. Against hunters or mages, I kind of like using Judgment of the Pure. It's kind of RNG. Takes off a random debuff, or I should say poison, disease, and magic effect. But if it gets the right one, it feels really good. And if you're playing with a healer that gets trapped a lot or struggles with polymorphs, Judgment of the Pure, definitely nice to have. It comes in handy, but you don't always have to play it. I don't think you should play it against Shadow Priest because you're going to get annoyed. Every time you throw your hammer, you're just going to get feared. It's super annoying. So I try to not use it against Shadow Priest. But if you want to use it against mages, hunters, or anywhere you think it comes in handy to your party members, you can take. Unbound Freedom is another option, especially when you fight against mages, shamans that could purge or spell steal. Very, very handy. DKs as well if you struggle. And Jurisdiction, I know this sounds weird, but against comps where you struggle to reach for the Hammer of Justice, and especially if you're playing a comp, maybe you're with a DH and you want to do the stun on the healer and the DH stuns to kill target, right? And you can't really reach far. I use Jurisdiction a lot in solo shuffle. I don't really use it in team queue, but in solo shuffle, I try to talk with my partners. Hey, I'll stun the healer. You stun that guy. If I play with the priest, I tell him to do stun, silence, fear on the healer, and then I can stun the kill target, which is right in front of me, so I don't need Jurisdiction. But if I'm playing with a class that doesn't have a long range CC, I try to take Jurisdiction so I can be on the target and I can just throw my Hodges very easily. If you don't have this, you have to like run up to them. It's a struggle. And if they're a good player, they're just gonna max range, start kiting you around the pillar, which happens a lot to me too, but this definitely helps when you have it. So I would recommend this in solo shuffle if you struggle getting CCs. If you have no problem, you don't have to use this, obviously. The other ones is pretty much up to you to use, but I recommend Auto of Reckoning, Lawbringer. There's definitely cons where you could take Law and Order, free them. But that big damage is where Red Paladins shine. For dueling, oh my goodness, Divine Punisher, I love it. But this is pretty much for solo shuffles. And I guess just basic arena knowledge. Should I go over the dueling too? Dueling, it just depends. I like Divine Punisher if I'm finding a kite class, freedom, slow, and jurisdiction. This is a nice combo right here. If you're getting kited, beautiful combo right here. I think I'm rambling too much. Let's show the burst and I'm gonna go to bed, okay? Hopefully I said everything. If you guys are confused on anything, feel free to leave it in the comment. And if I see a commonly asked question, I'll just pin it so you guys could all see it. Oh, as well as on my Discord, I have all my add-ons listed. My UI is there. All my macros are there. And I do try to upload builds frequently. So check that out as well if you guys want more info. And you could ask for help too. Don't be shy. Alright, it's a little bit noisy here, but number one is Judgment, Blade of Justice. If you could get a lot more Holy Power, like 5, this is what I probably do. I go for a blind. So the target's blinded. You can Seraphim, Pop Wing, Final Reckoning, and then Divine Toll. Your blind's gonna be almost fading out. You could Hodge, and then you can do Execution Sentence, and then throw Hammer, Judgment, get close to the target, JV, Wake of Ash, JV, Hammer, JV, and try to put in the most damage as you can while that execution is falling down, and you're gonna blast him. Especially if they don't pop any single walls and they're not aware of execution sentence, they will die. But there's a lot of people abusing weak auto right now, so they pretty much wall right when execution sentence is about to fall, or they pop wall immediately when they hear Seraphim or wings. That's why I was talking about the long wing, which is nice to bait out cooldowns. And you could pretty much do the same as well. Like you blind and you pop Seraphim and they pop all the walls. Go on your gut feeling. If you don't think you're gonna kill, let that defensive fall off. You did waste Seraphim, but you still have Final Reckoning, Divine Toll, Execution, and Wake of Ash, and you can still deal a lot of number. Make sure to always prioritize Hammer of Wrath if you have it. It does a lot of damage. Judgment as well. And then you do the rest of the stuff. So Hammers, Blade of Justice, and then JV. The last resort is Crusader Strike. And if you have nothing to press, but there are going to be times where you have nothing to press, then you can do Consecration, which does a tiny puso damage. And that's pretty much it for Red Paladins. I think I covered everything. Party macros, pretty damn important. I do also want to comment, try to use Lay on Hand earlier for your party members. Using it on yourself is kind of risky, because you can still die after using Lay of Hand, right? You could top yourself, but you could die right away again if a demon hunter is just slapping your dick. So I try to use Bubble on myself, but if I can save party members, I try to use Lay of Hand. If they're getting blasted and they really need a bob, you can bob them. But try to use Lay of Hand first, because there's dampening. And obviously, the higher dampening, the less healing you do. Lay of Hand actually feels like nothing in higher dampening. It sucks hard. So try to time that right. Oh, shoot. I don't know how many are sticking around to the end, but trinkets. I forgot to mention about this. Battle Master, definitely you want to use if it's a high bursty class. Like I said, reds are pretty squishy. BM can save your ass. Normally on the beta or dueling, I go with this so that when I do my big burst, I put Seraphim and Trinket on the same cooldown. So I could use double and then bigger damage setup, right? But if you're gonna end up like getting CC'd a lot, just the proc is fine. The proc is fine, and Battle Master saves your ass. And what's really gonna kill you? You're probably gonna die in a stun. So you have every man for himself. So in solo shuffle especially, will to survive is nice, and having these two trinkets are good as well. Oh, one more bonus for the people that are sticking around. If you have a choice to buy ring, buy the same signet. So you have versatility mastery. Normally it's the combination of versatility mastery and versatility haste, right? But right now you can go for double mastery. And once I enter the arena, I think I have about like 45 or 48% mastery. It becomes huge. Anyways, hopefully I covered everything. Oh, I'm not even sitting straight. I'm super fried. Love you guys. Happy New Year's. Thanks for enjoying my videos. If it helped, please leave a like, comment down below if you have any question, and subscribe. And I'll see you next year.